Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I thought today that I would do a little bit of a book talk, but I would be focusing more on a series, so do like a series book talk. And that series I've just completed is by Anna Todd. It's the After series. So you have the first book, After We Collided, After We Fell, After Ever Happy. I want to just put a disclaimer out right now that when I first picked these books up, I happened to miss the line right up here at the top that says 1 billion reads online, and I somehow missed that because I just saw this straight away and went, oh, read the blurb. It wasn't until I was looking at it a couple days after my birthday where I went, 1 billion reads online? Oh my goodness, this was an internet book. When I find out things that were originally started on the internet, I tried to avoid them because it doesn't mean they're any good. I kind of wish I'd known this prior because I probably wouldn't have bought this series. I would have gone straight to Wattpad to start reading it and then have immediately stopped reading it. But having read the whole series now, I can honestly say that I am glad I did read it, even though I had dislike of the first two books immensely. My one big complaint about this book series is the fact that it reads like fan fiction. I was halfway through this book before I found out that it was fan fiction. I didn't realize it was fan fiction. And then it became immediately worse when it was One Direction fan fiction. And I love One Direction, but that doesn't mean I want to read a story about them. You're into that? Cool. I'm just not. So I was immediately like, ew, Harden is Harry, and oh, yeah, that made this struggle street. What is this series about? This series is about Tessa, who is this sweet and innocent 18-year-old who's just going off to college. You know, she's got a boyfriend and they've been together for 2 years. They don't even make out regularly. And Harden is the bad boy British guy. They start hanging out and she cheats on a boyfriend and they get together and then there's a whole heap of issues. I'm gonna be brutally honest, I thought Tessa was a whiny little brat. Completely unlikable as far as I was concerned. She was too busy like being this really goody two shoes, like I'm straight laced. Just very judgmental. I know I'm being very judgmental right now, but she just immediately judges people based on their appearance. Oh, because, you know, they wear all black with, you know, eyebrow piercings, lip piercings. They're clearly rat bags and a waste of my time. I had absolutely no sympathy for her boyfriend when the whole cheating scenario thing was going down. You could tell they weren't genuinely in love with one another. The ending of this book, in my opinion, was just horrible and shows how horrible people can be. I didn't enjoy this book a lot. I just read it because, let's be honest, it was a train wreck that you could see coming, and I just wanted to see the disaster that was gonna be the crash. Boy, did it crash. So I was just like, this is, does it get better? It didn't really get better. And then because, you know, I don't even know why, I picked up the sequel, After We Collided. This pretty much picks up straight where After finished. It was a little bit better. So I don't even know what happens in this. So I've forgotten what happens. I don't like Zed. Can I just put that out there that I was sus on this dude from the start? And her mum was painful. I wanted her to get with Harden even though I hated the way he treated her. I'm not a Hessa shipper, but you know, I was starting to get there and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. And he tries to be a better person. He tries. After We Fell, which is the thickest book in the series, was when I actually started to enjoy this book. I did not read ahead because this was actually interesting. Like, it got really good. Her dad reappears in her life and he's a druggie. It's just, this is insane. And his mother's getting married in London, so they go to London, and the plot twist at the end of this book blew my mind. My jaw was dropped. I was just speechless. This book left me speechless. I think the writing got better. It either got better or I just got used to the bad writing style. I can't decide which. Harden was actively trying to become a better person and to treat her better. He's taken her dad in, he's looking after him, and she ends up moving to Seattle. And I was quite happy that she went ahead with that because Harden refuses to live in Seattle. And then you have the plot twist at the end of the book, which was mind-blowing when they're in London. It was just, I kind of had guessed, because towards the end of the book, they start to hint there's this thing happening. And it was quite cleverly done. Tessa was also changing as well. She was becoming less whiny and complainy and a far more enjoyable and likable character as far as I was concerned. After the events of After We Fell, they break up again because something happens to Harden and he just can't process it and deal with it, so he goes back to his old ways and it's just like, oh. A character dies and he comes back because Tessa's quite upset about it. and he's like, I'm gonna, you know, fix us and our relationship. She kind of just says to him, look, we can't keep doing this, because she's decided that she's going to transfer from Seattle to New York City because Landon, her best friend, is moving. She's like, look, I need 3 months from you. Just 3 months just to sort me out, because I don't know who I am anymore. I've done all these things that I don't understand, and I don't know why I've done them. And you're working on changing yourself and becoming a better person, and I think we need to do these things separate from one another, because all we do is fight and we don't work things out together properly in a healthy, normal relationship. And I could have hugged Tessa at this point, because she worked out that she was in an emotionally abusive relationship. She knew that, and she was trying to get out, but at the same time she was still trying to help him change to become a better person, because that's what he realized he wanted to do. And they had the guts to say, look, we're not very good together. We kind of destroy everything we build, and we upset everybody else around us, and we need to become better people by ourselves. And later on, maybe we can try and be together, because we're not the best versions of ourselves. And the character development in this series and in this book was mind-blowing. This is the redeeming factor of this series, was the character development was genuine. It was believable. It was honest. They became better people to a point where I'm a Hessa shipper. I went from giving 2 damns about Tessa and Hardin and what they were doing to being like, oh, I want them to be together. I want them to, you know, become better people so they can have this happy life together. I'm not going to say how it ends, but they do a lot more flash forward, like another 2 years, another 6 years, another 10 years. And you see how their lives pan out. I honestly wish that that sort of part went for longer, because you spent the entire 3.5 books just watching these 2 characters destroy everything that they are. And it would have been nice to have more time to see them at the end together and what they've done with their lives. That's all I'm going to talk about on this series. Honestly, I know I have some followers who do want to read it. If you've started reading it and you're wondering, should I go through with it? Honestly, the last 2 books in the series make it worth it. The entire time I was reading these 2 books, I'm going, why? Why did I pick this up for? When I got to the last 2, I was like, I'm so glad I picked up this book, because it shows that people can change. And I think that's the really key thing here is, yes, they start out in an emotionally abusive relationship, but by the end, they're in this loving and caring relationship. And I think that's what needs to be highlighted, that the process, how they changed, was genuine. I do recommend it. I honestly say, though, you need to persevere with the first 2 books if you dislike it. And maybe I'm just too judgmental. And I would probably consider rereading it, which is saying a lot considering I wanted to burn the first 2 books. I hope you guys enjoyed my non-spoiler review of the After series. You either love it or you hate it. I will see you guys next time, and have a good week. Keep on reading, people. Bye. They're really hard to hold. Like, they're so thick. It's difficult.